Hello everybody, it's IcyNewYear, and we are here with the last of the Guild Guard from the Guild's Judgment set. Sorry there's not a video up for the second one. I did it on stream, and it was a fairly long, rambly stream because it was fun to just hang out with people. But this is going to be much like the first one. I'm starting out with getting his cloak with an Abaddon black coat. All my paints, by the way, are going to be Citadel paints. So I'm just going over it with an Abaddon black. I think I went over this in a couple times just to get that like a smoother look, kind of learn from the previous two. I really like this guard because he has a very interesting pose. Like, it's hard to see now, but what he's going to be doing in the end is he stands on his coffin and he's basically riding his coffin, which is, I don't know, super cool looking. But we're hitting it up with some black. Going through, this entire crew was actually really fun to paint. I gave them a very like standardized color scheme throughout, so they're very linked in their color scheme, and I'm really happy with how it all came out. I'm going to be doing videos on the rest of the crew, and on the final crew, or the final one I put out, I'll show a shot of the entire crew, which if you follow my Twitter, you've probably already seen. So we're going through, hitting it with black. With ones like this, like, something I've noticed is when you're getting the inside of the cloak, you're going to get his legs, and it's really not a big deal. It's just, you know, you're going to go back over it. And that's kind of how I paint. It's start with big areas, go through, you know, and then come back and fill in details. And then if some of your detail work goes back over that big areas, come back and touch it up. So while that cloak is drying, I'm hitting up his coffin, and with this, I'm using Mornfang Brown, which I really am in love with this brown. It's a brown I hadn't used before, and I don't know, I really like it for wood. I'm still really liking my Dryad bark brown for things like clothing, that deeper, darker brown. But I don't know, I like the chestnut. Like, it's got some warm tones to it, and I think it looks really good on woodwork. The Monarchist is going to be doing his Dreamer crew soon. He wanted to do like a wood panel floor, so I think this would be really good for that. But just hitting up the whole thing, not worrying about getting on the chains, and going over the flames a little bit, but it's alright. So, I'm now doing his pants. Once again, Lauren Forest on the pants. These were super easy, if I remember correctly. Like, they were just, I don't know, the way his legs are positioned, they're just right out there, and it worked out really well. I just switched to a thinner brush to get, like, you know, the cracks between his cloak and his legs. But yeah, so going through that, I think at this point, I'm pulling the black back out and getting his boots. Probably should have done that when I was doing the cloak, but it was hard to find a place to hold the model at this point, so, you know, making it work with just going back and hitting up the boots. I don't know, I really like this, like, black cloak, black combat boots. I think that's my dog walking around the background there. I don't know, I really like that against the green. I think it looks like quasi-military. I don't know, I think it has a really good look. And at this point, I'm just doing a little bit of touch-up on some bits in the cloak that needed some touch-up work. Noticing some spots I missed, or places that need to be smoothed out a little bit. Okay, so the big spot's done. I'm going to start hitting up the flames. And for the base of the flames, I'm once again using a Temple Guard blue. It's a nice bright blue. Oh, I'm really happy I found this one. And I think it's... the Monarchist also has a Rasputina crew, Children of December, that has a bunch of ice golems and little ice guys, and I think this blue is going to fit well in that, along with some darker blues. I'm excited to help him make bases for that crew, because some interesting things you can do with acrylics that I'm really excited to try. You can see on there that I've definitely bled over onto the coffin, and I'm going to be just coming back later with the brown and fixing that up. Hitting up the flames on his hat. Good to go. Okay, from here, I'm now switching to the Dryad Bark Brown to get his hat. And this one was really easy. It was just, you know, because I'd already done the flames, I don't have to, I can just go through and just cover up any spots I hit. The underside was a little bit harder just because of the positioning of the model, but it's all good. So hit up the hat, and he should be good for the next step. And as I said, these death marshals are really simple. Like, especially, you know, this being the third one I've done, you know, made it a little easier. So with this, I'm hitting with a ceramite white and just getting his face. And now I'm switching over to Mechanis Standard Gray to put a base coat on the gun. And I mean, on previous ones, I went straight for the Iron Breaker, but because it is a metallic paint, it just doesn't cover as well. So I really like doing the Mechanis Standard Gray and then switching to the Iron Breaker to go on top of that. So right now, while I'm waiting for the gun to dry, I'm using the Iron Breaker to hit up the chains that are wrapped around him. So just getting those straight with the metallic, because I kind of like a little bit of the base white showing through. I think it looks good. And now okay, so I'm doing the chains on the coffin, same deal, with the Iron Breaker. And then I will go back and put Iron Breaker over the Mechanis Gray on the gun. And as you can see, once again with the coffin, I'm not worrying about bleed over because I'm going to come back and touch up edges with that brown again. You can see it really makes those chains pop. So there we go, hitting up the gun. Just applying a little coat of the Mechanis Gray. We're switching back to our ceramite white, getting his hands. And I think, yep, I touched up his face a little bit there. This guy's face is actually really, really hard to get to. So, same thing, using the ceramite white, and now I'm doing my dry brushing on the flames. Just gonna bring some life to those. Noticed I had a little bit too much, so I wiped a little more off. But it worked out. So, hitting up all the flames in the coffin, and then I'll hit the flames on his head. Or not. Maybe I guess I missed that. And here I'm going back again with that Mournfang brown. Just picking up, filling back in spillover from the flames and the chains, so that it's, you know, nice and consistent across. So, yep, just touching up. There we go. He is, at this point, very close to done. Touching up a little bit more black spots that I missed, or that I got spillover on from the chains. I'm touching up the chains at this point, where I got the silver farther than it should have. Just going with the black to refix that. There's him all done. So we're going to get ourselves a base. I'm doing a super simple base on this. Let me see what those are called. Oh, they're right here. Starting with a Dirt Flock Foundation. And these are both from Gale Force 9. And then just hitting it up with a little bit of Winter Dead Static Grass. Just to give it a little change. Actually, I don't think I used the Winter Dead on this. I did have a little bit of issue getting him to mount in the base, and I ended up having to basically wipe off some of the flock. I probably should have put the coffin down, just because the angle it's at, it's a really weird angle, and it does not stay well. So as you can see, it's falling over there. I probably should have done the basing first, putting the model on the base first, and then flocked it. As you can see here, I'm just taking a paper towel, wiping off the bottom of the coffin and wiping off the strip in the center so it can fit on there. I think that was me restarting another YouTube video. So there we go. Now that I've got clean contact points, it's going to sit there much better. And it would have sat all right if I had just waited a little longer for the flock to dry as well. But I do like the dirt flock right now because it looks like there's just like a screaming ghost face. So that made me happy. And it is that while I was recording. So, just waiting for glue to dry. I'm just using some gel super glue to place him. And he was actually really hard to get to stay on there. It took me a couple tries. If his feet had not been so thin, I would have pinned him, but I didn't want to pin on those feet because I was afraid that they were going to just break. But eventually, we get him to hold. And here we go. Ready for the close-up. So we're out of high speed mode. And bringing it in for a shot. So I'm really happy with how he came out. I love that pose. Thank you all for watching, and as always, have a great day.